Hey everyone, real quick before we get into it, don't forget to
like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter and Instagram.
Check out the podcast on Podbean. We're on Spotify, Stitcher, Apple Podcast, and Google Play.
And with all that said and done, let's get to it.
What's up, everybody, and welcome back to episode 124 of the Hella Average Gamescast, and you won't believe it. I can almost not believe it myself. I can't believe it's coming out of my mouth, but the whole crew is here. Everyone, Carmen and Jeremy, what's up, fellas?
Been so long.
It's been weeks, maybe months.
It might have been months.
Football
I'm so
season.
glad. I'm so glad to have you both here. We've got, while we don't have a lot of news, actually, but the news that we do have is so juicy and so unbelievable, it's going to have you on the edge of your seat, I guarantee it.
Dude, this is quality over quantity this week, that's for sure.
But before we get going, that's like a little bit to get your appetite going, to wet your whistle. Jeremy, since you were not with us last week, what have you been playing? Anything fun? Like anything that's standing out that you just had to talk about?
Actually, yes. I started playing a new game. It's called, and this is gonna be one of my what the hell kind of game is this? Because it's got like a million titles. It's called Legend of Heroes: Trails of Cold Steel.
Okay, all right, that sounds Jeremy-ish.
Yes, it's JRPG. It's actually it was on the Vita, and they ported it to the PS4. It's like kind of like the definitive edition, so it's got like all the DLC, enhanced frame rate. Just a traditional JRPG. Super fun. Really enjoying it. It's got like a real like anime vibe. You know, you go to like a military school, you have classmates, you have to attend class, do like after school stuff, side quests. It's got like a very Final Fantasy VII kind of magic system where you equip orbs that let you use different magical abilities, and those level up and so forth. I really like the combat in this game. It's kind of tactical, where it's more traditional turn-based, where you select from menus and stuff, but you can also move around the battlefield, and your position can affect like spells, area of effect, and all that whatnot. I think I'm only on chapter 2. I think there's like 10 chapters total. I can't tell you much about the story yet because they really haven't gotten into the actual like who the main villain is. It's just kind of that still getting to know everyone phase. But I do know this is part 1 of a trilogy. I already have part 2, and part 3 just came out, but I'm going to wait a while to get that. But I'm really enjoying this. My only real gripe with the game is that this, graphically, it's nothing special. It looks like an up-res PS2 game, which is no surprise because the whole game's like 5 gigs. I literally put the disc in my PlayStation. So what?
I said, whoa.
Yeah, I literally put the disc in my PS4, and it just went, your game's installed. I was like, oh, damn, I wasn't ready for that. Because usually, I put the disc in, I can like walk away and get like a drink or something and come back, and it's like halfway done loading. No, this was just like, nope, you're playing, go for it.
All right.
Yeah.
So you got a good bit of gaming in your future if this is a trilogy.
Oh yeah, I'm looking forward to it too. I plan to play through all 3 of these. Of course, after tomorrow when Medieval comes out.
It's going in the back. It's going in the backlogs.
Yeah, for a little bit.
Very cool. What else was that? Or that pretty much taking up all your time?
Only thing worth mentioning.
What about you, Carmen? What do you got that's that must be said? Something that needs to be heard? Anything?
I've been playing some more Tetris 99. I'm still chasing a win. I checked my stats today. I've played like 380 games. No dubs. Few second place finishes. Quite a fair bit of knockouts. Just haven't been able to seal the deal. So I plan on playing every day until I get a victory. I've even thought about moving the Switch into my office, setting up the Elgato, and just streaming my whole journey from whatever number of game I'm on now until my first dub.
Well, I think you should do that. So
again.
you've gotten my encouragement and my backing. I'm there for you, mentally, of course.
Awesome. Yeah, no, I'm getting a lot better at Tetris. I'm hoping to keep my skills up, and maybe I can show them off in a select start video or something. And then I've been playing Borderlands, still on that grind. The Halloween event has started, so that's going to be a pretty lengthy grind. So we need to get on that after this and
We'll be on there tonight.
push it and and we need to do some more farming of the Grave Warden because I need more gear. And that's about it. That's all I've been playing.
I'm right there with you, mostly Borderlands, and I have gotten back into Minecraft, believe it or not.
Wow.
That's scary.
Yeah. Cam's 13 again.
I'm building a castle and a farm right now, so.
So, like, you building, like, a legit castle, or you building, like, some Boo-Boo the Fool castle?
No, I'm actually putting time into it, and, like, I'm not doing it on creative. I'm actually doing it on real survival mode, so I've got to go mine for my materials and everything, so.
You're an animal.
I don't know what happened, man. I just saw it sitting there, and I was sitting up here one day in the man cave, and I was like, I don't know what I want to do. I don't feel like playing Borderlands. I don't feel like playing Mortal Kombat. So something happened, and I cut on Minecraft, and I started a new server, and I got me a little hut to start out with, and I was like, man, this is fun. And I made me a little farm, and then I was like hooked after that. It's just like, I need this game, and I forgot how addicting it can be. But it only lasts probably about a month or two, and then, I'll get my feel for it, but it's scratching that itch right now.
You like going off any blueprints for your castle, or you doing this all on your own?
Nah, just freehanding, and I'm not that creative. Like, I've got a buddy who's just insanely creative with Minecraft, and mine are usually like straight walls and, like a 4-pane window, but I'm trying to be a little bit more adventurous and making it like a little bit more twisty and turny, not just straight walls. I'm doing like a row of windows, kind of like a church vestibule. So
here's what you do. You build this whole huge place for your future child.
And gift it to them on their, what birthday?
Now you leave it to them in your will. So this is all yours, son.
Yeah, like you constantly update it throughout their whole life. Create like a little statue of Baby Jenkins through the years.
I do this for you.
Just give him like that Lion King speech. Everything the light touches is our kingdom.
I know, like it will be forever enshrined on that dope-ass PS4 that you're never getting rid of.
You know, what I could do is like hide one chest, and I mean randomly, like 2 blocks away in the middle of a forest. It's just sitting in the middle of dirt. And if they ever find it, it's just a note that says, I love you. And then they'll cry.
And he goes, his kid's just like, shit, I wanted the money.
How come there's no food in here?
You left me in so much debt.
Damn you, Minecraft, for everything you do. But that's enough. I think that the world's ready to get into the fun stuff.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for some news.
And like I said, there's not a whole lot, but we do have, boy, oh boy. So let's just get the elephant out of the room here. Let's talk about Bethesda.
Woo.
Bethesda don't. You know what time it is.
Please.
We've replaced Nintendo with Bethesda.
Oh, dude, I can't believe we ever had a Nintendo don't corner at this point.
Exactly. Like, nothing Nintendo does at this point stacks up to what Bethesda does on a day-to-day basis.
Oh, in the last year, Bethesda has done so much more wrong than Nintendo has ever done their whole life.
Yes, they have.
Oh.
It's tough.
It's tough. Let them know, Cam. Let them know what's up.
But they're doing it so much this time, it's almost becoming comical. Like,
oh, it's beyond comical, dude.
Okay, so here's what's happened so far, for those of you who haven't heard the news. So Bethesda brings out this subscription called Fallout First. It's like $12.99 a month or $99 for the year, right? First off, this game is empty. Nobody, there's nothing to do. And really, this is a slap in the face in the first place when you can subscribe to something like Games Pass, where you get a bunch of good RPGs or so many other services that give you much more value gaming-wise than this. So that's a slap in the face. And this big NPC update they're supposed to have has already been pushed back. So now they're like, here, give me $100 for absolutely nothing, right? So as if that was not enough, because we thought that was going to be it, right? But no, that's not it. Then they go and they announce quote-unquote private servers, okay? It turns out, after announcing these private servers, the servers aren't even private, or appear not to be private, because people are loading in. I think you buy these servers, too. I think you actually spend money on them. I'm not sure. But people are loading in, and there's dead NPCs, there's loot on the ground that would show you that these are past saved states of the game, and they're not, quote, private servers. And they gave you an item to store your gear in that was deleting your gear or your items.
Oh my god,
dude! You can't make this up. And then on top of all this, and I think this is just the best stuff in the world. They did not buy the domain for Fallout First, which is the name of their subscription. So I won't do it justice by like making fun of it or parodying it, but just go to Fallout First, and it's a fan or someone that's a gaming enthusiast who just is ripping and riffing Bethesda apart. It's like a launch page. It's just a home page, and he goes in. So just go to www.falloutfirst.com and laugh. Prepare to get a laugh. But honestly, this is probably the biggest misstep.
This whole game
in my
has been
opinion,
a misstep for them.
Recently.
No, every step that they take with this game moving forward is bad. They have done nothing good. And like things that we thought were okay, like we thought that little helmet thing was okay, and then it comes out and it's like, hey, there might be mold growing in it. So like nothing that they do, they need to just scrap this game. They need to shut the servers down. If you bought the game, they can give everybody a little $5 voucher towards their next purchase with Bethesda.
Oh, they need to get more than that.
No, I mean, but they can't give away more. They just don't have it, and if they do, they're gonna just shoot themselves in the foot. This game is ruining a highly touted studio.
Oh yeah, their reputation is beyond tarnished at this point. People are so worried about Elder Scrolls 6, and I cannot blame them.
We were talking about it at work today because of what they've done here. At first, you're kind of, as a fan, you're laughing it off, right? You're like, okay, well, they can recover from this, okay? Then you get deeper and deeper into it, and you're like, I don't know. And then this last thing, like, this stuff that could shut a studio down because their main franchises are Fallout and Elder Scrolls, okay? They do have a few good sprinkled out, like, you've got your Dishonored, things like that. But without those two, this studio doesn't make the money it needs to make to support the employees they have. If they mess up Elder Scrolls 6 in any way, if it's nothing but perfect, if they pepper it with microtransactions, if they do any kind of missteps like they have with 76, they could be in danger of being bought or being liquidated into another, somebody, probably Microsoft buying them.
I think it's almost inevitable that something is going to go wrong with Elder Scrolls 6. Like, it's definitely going to be buggy. All we can hope is it's not going to be Fallout 76 levels of buggy. It'll just be the normal levels of jank they have, which people can forgive. But, yeah, you're right. If they can't withhold the urge to throw in microtransactions and subscription services into it, I mean, just, like, all of the other stuff that happened with Fallout 76... it was, I would even be charitable enough to rack it up to incompetence, even though I don't think it is. I think it was more of hubris. They thought they could get away with it. But this now is crossed over from incompetence and hubris to just straight up greed. You have a broken, janky mess of a game, and instead of fixing it, you're selling a subscription to it with promises that if you buy this subscription, we'll put in all of those quality of life things you've been begging for. Oh, by the way, we're also going to ruin, like, if all the stuff you've collected, it's going to be deleted. All these private servers, yeah, they're not actually private. It's coming off like a scam now, almost. I mean, I know it's not a scam, but it's coming off that way, where they're saying, oh, we're going to give you this and this and this, and they don't.
Yeah, but who do they think is actually going to buy into this?
I don't know. Like I was talking earlier with you guys. I said that Angry Joe brought up a good point about this in his video. He said even if you had like an amazing MMO that people love and it does really well, you'd still have a hard time selling a subscription to this game at that cost.
I disagree.
I don't know, man. $100 a year.
I paid $100 a year for DC Universe. Really?
No, I'm not talking. Was it a subscription or was it in microtransactions?
Subscription
And all that stuff? Really?
And I spent money on micros.
But was that the subscription to play? Did you have to?
I need you to enjoy DC Universe. You need this subscription.
But what I'm saying is, you didn't buy DC Universe for $60, did you? It was free.
No, but I mean, you could rival and say I put $60 into the game and then still had the subscription on top of it.
But that's different. That's free to play. This is you have to buy the game, plus buy this subscription, plus microtransactions.
How much is WoW?
No, I was going to chime in. The only game that I could think of off the top of my head that has that kind of tout that people actually pay that money for is WoW.
And how much? You have to buy a WoW, right?
You still got to buy it. I mean, it's gotten cheaper. Like, I think you pay $20 for
free now.
You can I think you get like the base game through like the X expansions, like the old expansions for free, and then each new expansion I think is in the $30 range. I don't know, and I haven't played in so long. Back in the day, it was like $12.99 I think a month. Now I think it's like $15.99. And don't quote me. I don't want to have all of our WoW fans breaking our doors down. But there's a subscription and you buy the games. But WoW has been around and it is tried and true and tested. Millions of people play this.
New MMOs, it's going to be harder for you to get people on board for that subscription service.
Yeah.
And it damn sure is not going to be Fallout 76.
Oh hell no.
And what do you need private servers for? The game?
I don't know. I don't know what the point
empty.
is. I don't know.
Yeah.
They did private servers in Battlefield, right? And this is the closest thing I can equate it with. In Battlefield 4, you had private servers, and what that did is people could set the playlist, the map playlist, so they could only have certain maps. They could say no shotguns, only hardcore. You could actually do stuff with your own server. I don't know what you do in this. Like, what do you do? There's nothing to do.
There's nothing to do. The shooting is jank. The game is jank. There's no good thing about this game. I didn't find one good thing when we played it, when they had it up for free. Not one.
The only thing I could even possibly think of for the reason they were trying to do private servers is maybe for stability. So like less people logging in, the servers are a bit more stable. But like you said, they're just throwing you on any old server anyway, so that makes it a moot point.
Yeah, I don't know if you have private servers, what that does for you in terms of stability. Like, I mean, if you should know that if you have 1 million people hitting your game, which I highly doubt they do, that you need to be able to manage these users and put them into servers and have them all balanced and have them all function at a certain spot. And if you know that you can only handle 100 people on one server, then you need enough servers to accommodate your whole crowd.
So what? Maybe 1.5 servers?
Well,
for all the people playing?
So according to them, they got a decent niche crowd for Fallout 76. So it started out bad. They did some patches, and they got a decent crowd coming back. I don't know what decent means or what it was, but it was enough to warrant them doing some updates to it. And I remember them talking about it at E3, and I can't remember what the numbers were, but long story short, what's happening now is I guess they're taking those people, quote unquote, the people who are playing it or keep coming back to it, or their niche crowd, and now they're trying to squeeze more money out of it. Like a money sponge.
Like a crack at it.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
I've already squeezed all the lemon juice out of these lemons. Let's just throw them in the microwave to see if we can loosen up just a little more.
That's rubbing those grinds.
It's so stupid. It's so dumb. Let it die. Just let it go.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm thinking in my head, and I want to ask, would you guys rather play Fallout 76 or No Man's Sky?
I would rather. I have no interest in either one.
No, but if you had to pick
play
one,
No Man's Sky. That's what I'm saying. I would rather do No Man's Sky.
At least it's Minecraft in space.
At least it works. And that's something else. No Man's Sky, at least when it launched and it still sucked, it at least worked.
Yeah.
And they fixed it.
But they did fix it, but I did.
Yeah.
The reason I stopped playing No Man's Sky is because I got stuck. I literally got stranded on a planet, and I'm starting to think, would I rather be stranded on that planet where I know it would be the most massive struggle ever, or would I want to play Fallout 76? And I think I take the struggle 9 out of 10 times.
You have a better chance of surviving on that stranded, desolate planet than you would on a Minecraft server.
Fallout 76 server, sir. Minecraft has great servers.
Fallout 76, sir.
Yeah, Minecraft's got some damn good servers. Now but you want to know, on the flip side of this, you want to know who is actually probably benefiting from this? Obsidian. And here's why.
That's true.
Because Obsidian arguably took Bethesda's franchise and did the best version of it. I'm talking about Fallout New Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
And they're dropping Outer Worlds tomorrow, which has already looking really good. It's getting some good reviews behind it. Now, with this shit from Bethesda, it's going to have even more people say, well, I'm going to play this game. Or it makes this game look that much better. Like, hey, we're not doing this. Come look at our game, right? Come look at our RPG that's done right. So,
I mean, Overworld, not Overworld, Outer Worlds, it has a very Fallout 76 or Fallout kind of vibe to it. It's got that like 50s nostalgia thing going to it. So
yeah, definitely.
Why would you not play that instead of like why would you play Fallout 76 instead of that? That's what I'm saying.
It's funny that you said that, Cam, because a day ago, the Washington Post has an article, Fallout 76 just gave people a reason to play the Outer Worlds instead.
Yeah.
That's fucking awesome.
Well, I know, I mean...
Next article, hang on. Forbes. Don't buy Fallout 76 premium subscription. Just play the Outer Worlds.
Well, so here's the thing. I mean, if you're a fan of Fallout, I've been a fan of Fallout for a while. New Vegas is probably one of the better iterations, if not the best iteration of Fallout. Fallout 3 was really good as well. But Obsidian ran New Vegas, and people, they quote-unquote call this New Vegas 2 and stuff like that, and it gives me that feel. It mixes, it definitely feels like a Fallout game, but it's done right, and Obsidian has been doing things right for a while, so Obsidian could give Bethesda a run they could take their formula and do it better. So
See, this makes me wonder then if Bethesda was ever actually any good, or if it was just Obsidian doing the work, and they were just taking the credit.
They still did. So, I mean, the rest of the Fallouts were Bethesda, and you've seen what Bethesda's done with Doom, and you've seen what they've done with Elder Scrolls.
Well,
so.
Bethesda doesn't actually make Doom. That's its software.
Well, it is it, but they're over. So everything goes through them before it gets finalized.
They publish it. They basically
Right.
finance it.
They finance it. So, but also. Because when they publish it, they not only go out and get the advertising and things like that, you best believe they have a say. Like, we want the final product to be this.
True, but I always like to give more props to the actual programmers, the company that actually makes the game, versus the ones who just publish it. Like I said, like Bethesda, Bethesda, I know also did Evil Within, but they didn't actually make the game. That was a different studio.
Right. And they do that. Bethesda does that a lot, actually.
Yeah.
They publish a lot. I mean,
and that's what makes them look good. The games that they've published that aren't broken.
Yes.
The games that they actually create
are broken and jank.
Yeah, they kind of suck.
Yes.
Well,
that's why I love Doom, because it's a super polished game. I love Evil Within, super polished game. Fallout and Elder Scrolls, they've always been janky. They've always been buggy. Never to these degrees, but people have been able to overlook it. But now people are going back and going, you know what? Fallout 3 was kind of janky. So was Elder Scrolls. I'm like, well, yeah. Doesn't mean they're terrible games, but people are finally starting to see Bethesda was never perfect.
Well, what's happening is like you said, you can overlook a little bit of glitching. But what you can overlook is when your fan base gets burned.
Oh, yeah. Not
only are they getting burned, and they're going to pretty much, I would say, boycott your product, they're going to then go back to your old products with a fine-tooth comb and say, oh, now this game really sucked. We were just saying it was okay, Yeah. So they're going to dig up everything Bethesda's ever done. And I'm telling you, their reputation is tanking. And because of one game that they could have just said, here, it's free, we're done, and just let it be. But no, they couldn't do that.
Yeah, their clout is basically gone at this point. And their reputation, once your reputation is gone in the gaming world, it's almost impossible to get it back. I mean, you have to make some huge strides to get that back. I mean, they're literally going down the path of EA, and I don't know if they're ever going to come back from that.
There was a survey on Reddit today that I participated in. It was like the four studios. Which studio does the worst job at listening to their fan base?
Mm-hmm.
And Bethesda was at 35% of the votes, and EA was at 34% of the votes.
Ooh, what were the other two options?
Blizzard and I can't remember the last one. Somebody who I didn't see ever had an issue with that. Oh, Ubisoft.
Okay, yeah, I would agree with that poll. Definitely EA and Bethesda are 1 and 2. Interchangeable.
Yeah, absolutely. So, as of right now, we're recording this on a Thursday. The Bethesda news really dropped yesterday, but then today was all the private server stuff. So, there's no telling. Between now and the next time we record, there could be much more going on here. So, just stay tuned. We might not be done yet. We might get more laughs out of this thing.
Yes, please.
But please, I reiterate, go to falloutfirst.com. All right, let's try to move on from this Bethesda stuff.
I know it's so hard. It's like I need a drink at this point. Like I need a shot of whiskey after talking about that.
Let's talk about something actually kind of fun to talk about. There was some possible leak. We got BlizzCon coming up. I know Blizzard's been under a lot of fire lately. Whatever. Let's talk about this. Obviously, one of Blizzard's, I would say, the main franchise other than World of Warcraft is Diablo. There was a German magazine, and it was an artwork magazine. It was a magazine just depicting a lot of their artwork and stuff they had done. And in that magazine was artwork for Diablo 4 and what looked like Overwatch 2. So, based on this leak, the thought is we're going to at least hear about Diablo 4 at BlizzCon, maybe some Overwatch 2 stuff.
I just think it's too early for Overwatch 2.
I agree with that.
Maybe, because Overwatch is doing good.
Overwatch is a really great game. It's run super smooth. It looks really great. I don't know why you need a sequel. It's almost like this in the same breath, like you don't need a sequel to Rocket League. So,
I agree.
The real question is why.
I agree too, because like Diablo, that's like an actual game with like a beginning, a middle, and an end. Overwatch is like just an MMO almost. It's an online-only multiplayer game. A sequel's kind of pointless in my opinion. It's just, I think they're better served just constantly updating the game, adding new characters. Yeah, exactly. It's a game as a service. There's no reason to... because if you move on to Overwatch 2, you're kind of burning everyone who spent all this money on Overwatch 1. Unless they're at the very least going to let them import everything over. But even then, you're still charging them $60 for basically an expansion or something.
Yeah, no, I could see Overwatch 2 coming next gen. And honestly, what they need to do is Overwatch would thrive on a subscription service, like right out the gate. Game's free. Game can be downloaded for free. You get a few characters for free. And then you subscribe for $4.99 a month, making the game $60 a year. And it just comes with everything. All the expansions as they come out, new characters, new levels, new modes. All of that. You hide all that behind a paywall. You make people pay $4.99 for the game, and it literally lasts the whole generation.
I agree. I can get behind that.
Blizzard that as well.
Blizzard could create that. They could do that for this game, and then they midway through the life cycle, they bring the game down. Like they work on a huge update. They bring the game down for a week. They pop it back up. Boom. We have Overwatch 2.5, which is a major overhaul, now that we know what the system can handle.
Here. And I want to clarify before we get yelled at and crucified, the Diablo 4 leak came in that magazine I was talking about from Germany, and the Overwatch 2 leak actually came from a quote-unquote prominent leaker that's an insider with knowledge. So, either way, I really, really feel strongly about this Diablo 4 announcement. The Overwatch 2, because Overwatch is still doing so well and it's so prominent in the esports scene, I don't know that that's going to be coming this year at BlizzCon, but maybe they do say something. But I'm all with Carmen. I like the idea of making that thing free, give us some updates, 2.5 it, 3.0 it, let's pay for it, and let's play.
Oh, yeah.
Now, I do have a question, though. With the Diablo 4, I remember that bet that you guys made. But I just remembered, was it that it would be announced, or was it that it would be released by a certain time?
We have to find
the episode. I'm pretty sure we'll have to go back and listen, but for those of you who don't know or didn't listen, me and Carmen made a bet on Diablo 4 because historically there's been around 10 to 12 years in the Diablo cycle. And I said it won't take that long this time. And we either bet on the announcement or the game being out and a steak dinner. I think it was the game will be out by 2021. But I can't remember. So we'll go back and listen and make sure to update you on the next episode.
I don't even know how we're going to find it. We need a board. We need a Google Doc. when we start making
too.
predictions.
Like all of our bets, yeah.
It's going to be
But
mainly
we'll go
me
back and
versus
look.
you.
I just know it's a steak dinner on it.
Yeah,
I do remember that.
just buy me a dinner.
All right, let's move into the last news we got here, and we can kind of honestly bundle these all together because we got a lot of news about games being pushed back. So we've got some delays. Some of these make a little bit more sense than others, and we've talked about it before. We're all about pushing back if it is to make the game better. But we've got The Last of Us Part 2 is going to be delayed until May, which I think is around a 3-month delay. I think it was coming out in February, right?
It was supposed to come out in March.
March, so 2-month delay then. And then Ghost of I'm not going to say this word.
Tsushima.
Tsushima is delayed until the second half of 2020. And that's the only kind of hard number they gave us there for that one is the second half of 2020.
Well, if it's the second half of 2020, that would most likely make it a PS5 launch title, wouldn't it?
Well, one would think. I don't know why they would launch a PS4 title so close to that.
Well, I think it's probably going to be on PS4 and PS5.
Oh, yeah, I could see that.
I hope not.
Okay.
I really hate that.
I'm for it.
Well,
I think if it's getting pushed, it's getting pushed into next gen, and we'll just skip current gen.
I think they're going to maximize because they were probably optimizing it for the for the PS4, and then they're just like, we know it's coming out so close to the PS5. Let's up-res it, upscale it, and release it as well for PS5. Kind of double dip. You're going to make more money off the PS4 version because that's what everyone has right now.
Exactly. No, I mean, it's a good money-making thing. I just dislike
and it gives
so
people
much.
it gives people on the PS5 something to play when they get their systems too. Because I'm not gonna lie, if I was able to get a PS5 at launch and Ghost of Tsushima was on there, I would get it. I mean, why not?
I've got a prediction for the launch title
What's that?
for the PS5. The PS5 drops November 29th, 2020 with Twisted Metal
You're crazy.
as a flagship title.
I mean, it would be a good move, but we'll have to wait and see. I think if anything, they're gonna announce something at E3 if they attend this year.
You won't see another Twisted Metal game.
Yes, you will. You absolutely will see another Twisted Metal game.
They're primed for it. I mean, it's been a
Have
while.
to.
It'd be good time to bring it back.
Have to.
I mean, honestly, I think the PS5 would be a perfect time to breathe air into an old franchise like that. You know, take a long forgotten franchise, make a new entry, make it a launch title. I think that'd be fantastic.
I agree. And Sweet Tooth is still one of their, like, an iconic character. I mean, he's obviously not as big as some of their anymore because a lot of people haven't seen him in a while. But Twisted Metal was a staple. It was a PlayStation staple.
It was such a staple that they didn't even bring it back this generation.
You're right. It did come back this year, which throws me off. It really does. I mean, that Twisted Metal they did back in 2012, the one on the PS3, got fairly good reviews. I know by fans, like the people voted really highly for it. And I think even and I haven't got the Metacritic or anything in front of me, but I think it was even like a late 70s, early 80s game. So it did fairly well. It wasn't a bad game. I don't know why they decided not to bring it back this gen.
Maybe they make enough money. That's my best guess.
I mean, that's got to be the main factor is the money.
I mean, it could be the best reviewed game ever, but if it doesn't sell copies, they're not going to make more. Ask Clover Studios.
The studio shut down that did them last.
Yeah. Sony's got it now. It would have to be a Sony game, or they would have to give it to whoever.
I just think that they're focused on other games, and they don't want to dedicate a first-party studio to a game that just doesn't carry as much clout as God of War.
Well, I agree. I mean, it wouldn't be. I don't think it'd be a studio that caliber doing it, but what they could do is run this as one of their newly acquired studios, or bring someone in and give them this title and try to, even though it doesn't pull as much weight as the God of Wars and Spider-Mans and Horizons anymore, try to start building it back up, maybe put it back in the rotation as a staple. Kind of like, I mean, Microsoft's trying to do that with Fable. They're trying to re-energize the Fable brand. Maybe it'll work, maybe it won't, but
yeah, I still think there's life left in Twisted Metal. I mean, there's no reason to abandon the series. I think it still got its fans. I mean, like I said, you don't have to put all your eggs into that Twisted Metal basket and forsake everything else, but you could put, a second-tier studio into it, put out a pretty decent game, maybe a great game.
Yeah, and that's how the snowball starts. You make a new game, they haven't seen it in a while. It turns out it's pretty good. Make some money. It's a lower tier studio, not your A tier studio, and then that game sits out for 2-3 years, and then the next one comes out with a little bit more budget, and then man, this game's awesome. And then next thing you know, it's a Sony staple again.
I agree.
Right beside Siphon Filter.
I just don't see it happening. I think it would cost way too much money to build that game.
It depends it depends how much they decide to put into it. Obviously, if they want to make it a pretty darn good game, yeah, they're going to put some capital into it. You don't want to make this some budget $15 download only title. You want this to be a full-fledged game. But that's part of that's part of the risk. You know, you gotta sometimes just throw your hat out there and just hope it works out.
There's
always a chance.
Yeah. I mean, if I was a real betting man, I would put my money, let's say, on it coming back. Now, I agree that it's not going to be God of War at first, but it might could get up there. Who knows? Listen, I can't read palms. Okay, I'm just digging in to my gut here, and that my gut's pretty big, and it's got a lot of knowledge. Okay.
Okay, so I'll make this prediction. If Twisted Metal comes back, it's a re-release of Twisted Metal Black.
Maybe so you're saying maybe to test the waters and see how it sells.
Exactly. They won't come out. They won't come out with the next iteration of Twisted Metal. It will be Twisted Metal Black as a true re-release, not a up-res.
I would do you one better and say they would just release Twisted Metal and call it Twisted Metal, and it's back to roots.
I'm with Carmen on this. I think they are more likely. It would be an up-res, though. They would take the Twisted Metal Black, the last one, and they would do a PS4 up-res or upscale, or whatever you want to call it, release that for $20, test the waters, and if it sells really good, then move on and make a new Twisted Metal. If it doesn't, then they tried something.
I think that's their best bet if they decide to revive a game that's been dead for 7 years.
Yeah, it's the safer bet.
They're going to revive that right along with Siphon Filter, so we all know that's going to happen.
I think we'll get Twisted Metal before Siphon Filter.
You'll get Siphon Filter before Twisted Metal.
I think we'll get Twisted Metal before Siphon Filter. When was the last Siphon Filter game?
Here's my I think we see Siphon Filter this gen, we see Resistance this gen, and Twisted Metal this gen.
This gen, meaning current gen?
Or Gen
PS5.
5. Sorry, next gen, my bad. PS5, Xbox, that gen. Xbox
I would
5.
love to see Resistance come back, personally. That's the one of those three I care about the most.
And we see... Yeah, never mind. That was probably a bad thing.
Dude, I just want Legend Dragoon 2. Come on, Sony.
Please.
Please, for the love of God.
All right, so that's all I got. Y'all got anything to talk about? Did we miss anything?
No, I had fun fighting with both of you.
Yes. About Batman can beat Yamcha.
Way to just spoil my outro. God, I hate you so much.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert.
Top tier Batman could beat top tier Yamcha. Carmen, go ahead and get us out of here, buddy.
All right, well, Cam's wrong. Jeremy, also wrong. Not up for discussion. Don't speak. Go check out Select Start on YouTube. Our latest episode of Smash was a banger. Definitely gets the heart pumping. 2 great matches. Cam v. Jeremy. Jeremy v. me. Go watch. See who wins. And like always, play on and stay hella
average.
Peace.